Hi there, welcome to e-GMAT. My name is Stacy Trepanier. I'm one of the subject matter experts here on the e-GMAT team, and I'm going to work through this official question on an epic with you. Now, if you're intimidated by a completely underlined sentence, no worries. Our approach is going to be exactly the same here as a partially underlined sentence. In a lot of ways, a completely underlined sentence gives us more freedom. So, let's get to work using that e-GMAT three-step approach to extract the meaning utilizing the sentence structure. As we begin reading, we see remembered almost as an epic. So we know that something is remembered, and it is remembered almost as an epic. So we keep reading to find out what. Among Americans, 12,000 Bosnian Muslims. So this epic is remembered among this group of 12,000 Bosnian Muslims is the digging of Chicago's subway tunnels. So this digging of the subway tunnels seems to be what is remembered among this group of people in the early 1900s. So it seems that this digging is taking place in the early 1900s and one of the proudest of family legends. Okay, now, if you're like me and you read through this sentence and kind of paused after reading through it the first time and went, huh? You're not alone. Definitely a confusing sentence, definitely comes across as kind of a jumbled mess when you first read through it. Now, not the most beautifully structured sentence, not the easiest to digest as far as meaning goes. One of the reasons might be because we have an inverted structure here. And what I mean by inverted structure is that the subject and verb are flipped. Our traditional SE structure is that we have subject plus verb plus object, and then our modifiers worked in. But in an inverted structure, we tend to have our verb, then our subject and objects modifiers. So here you can see we have our verb is remembered, and then our subject, the digging. So if we want to try to really work and see what's happening and extract that meaning, we can flip the structure back around and we can put the digging up here. The digging is remembered almost as an epic among America's 12,000 Bosnian Muslims. Now, as I read that, the thing that's standing out now is the use of this phrase, an epic. And the sentence seems to now be communicating that I've rearranged it, that this digging of Chicago's subway tunnels is remembered as an epic. And my question here now is, can digging be an epic? And I would have to argue no, it cannot. The very nature of an epic is that it is a story coming down from the past. And the subject of epics are heroic persons or events that inspire legend. Thus, the subject of a legend could possibly be the digging of these tunnels. But the act of digging alone is not going to be an epic. So the meaning as it's presented is completely illogical. Now, we also have the use of one of the proudest of family legends sitting down here kind of at the bottom on its own, not really connected to anything else in the sentence. And the use of this word legends down here leaves me wondering, okay, well, maybe it's the act of digging these tunnels, which was quite impressive, and this became the subject of a legend, and that legend could have become an epic. And so maybe if I piece these clues together, I can reorganize and infer the meaning that's happening here. So maybe the legend is what is actually the epic. So the legend equals the epic. So that would make sense, especially if this impressive act of digging became the legend. So kind of that ripple effect. So let's start to kind of piece this together. We could say that one of the proudest family legends is digging of Chicago's subway tunnels in the early 1900s. So this could be our first entity right here, number one, that one of the proudest of family legends, and this proudest of family legends is the digging of the subway tunnels, and that this family legend is remembered as almost epic. So this could equal number two right here. And then that third piece could be that this epic is remembered among America's 12,000 Bosnian Muslims. So this could be number three. Okay, so that all makes logical sense as far as the sentence being communicated in a manner that gives us that meaning of an epic, and everything's being properly communicated and making sense, that the legend would be the digging, and the legend then becomes an epic that's remembered. So let's organize this in our key aspects. That something is remembered by America's Bosnian Muslims as an epic, and one of the proudest family legends is almost an epic, and that this family legend is the digging of Chicago's subway tunnels. So you kind of see that trickle down effect. So let's move into that error analysis now that we have that meaning analysis. And we know we definitely are dealing with a communication-based sentence. And now that we've extracted those logical aspects, the error analysis and using those tools of grammar, grammatically speaking, nothing's really wrong here. I mean, we don't have the meaning we need, so we definitely have to find an answer choice that communicates that logical intended meaning. But grammatically speaking, this modifier that's sitting down here, one of the proudest of family legends, is not associated really with a particular piece of the sentence. It's just kind of sitting on its own down here. It's kind of like the outlier of the sentence. It's not really connected to anything. And we know, as we said in that meaning analysis, that we need this proudest of family legends to be connected to this entity of the epic up here, because it's this legend that is the epic. So we need to find a structure that connects this modifier into the context of the sentence to give us that meaning that we're looking for. And this is where the beauty of a completely underlined sentence comes in, because we can completely rearrange everything to really make our sentence inclusive of this modifier that has kind of been left out of this structure altogether. So let's get to work and see if we can find an answer choice that does what we need it to do, both from the meaning perspective and from the structural perspective. So choice A is out for that illogical meaning we discussed, and for that modifier that was kind of left out of the structure altogether. Choice B, again, we see repeats the same error in meaning as option A and communicates that the digging is remembered as an epic. Almost an epic among Americans' 12,000 Bosnian Muslims is the digging. So here again, almost an epic and is the digging. So choice B is out, repeating that same error is A. Let's take a look at choice C. Now choice C, we definitely have a change in structure, and anytime we see such a big change in structure, we're going to make sure our meaning that's being communicated is proper, and we definitely don't have proper meaning here. Look at this opening modifier, digging Chicago's subway tunnels in the early 1900s, America's 12,000 Bosnian Muslims. Now, we know this opening modifier is going to associate with the subject, but these American Bosnian Muslims are in the present, and this digging of the tunnel is in the past. So that modifier is not logically modifying the present Bosnian Muslims. So we definitely have this illogical meaning and a modifier error there with choice C. Now choice D, which is our most popular incorrect answer choice, but if we look closely at this option, it again is associating the digging with an epic as An epic, the digging. So this is repeating the same illogical meaning as we had in options A and options B. So option D is out for that reason as well. Now option E changes our structure, but it's getting the job done. It is making one of the proudest of family legends our subject here, which works just fine. It's telling us that this legend is what is remembered. So this modifier is directly describing this legend, telling us the legend is remembered almost as an epic. So it's giving us that association that we were looking for. And it's telling us that this legend is, and then it tells us what this legend is, the digging of the subway tunnels. So we have the proper meaning, we have the proper structure that's clearly communicating this meaning. So choice E gets the job done for us. And we can move on to these takeaways. Please always remember to spend that time up front to understand what the sentence intends to communicate, especially when you read a sentence and it just leaves you going, You really have to work to infer that meaning so you know what's going on as you move into those answer choices. Do not let an inverted structure confuse you. Simply identify your subject verb pairs and reorganize if necessary so you can extract that meaning and work through what the author intends to communicate. And make sure all your modifiers are placed so they describe the proper entity and communicate the logical intended meaning. We don't want any modifiers left out, just kind of hanging off to the side by themselves. We want all parts of the sentence included. Thank you so much for stopping by and solving this question with me. Please make sure to drop a like below so I know you were here. Subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can get more solutions and articles. We're trying to churn out great content to help you along your GMAT journey. If you need any more helpful resources, please check the links in the description below. We have some there for you. And from all of us at e-GMAT, happy learning.